You may have heard of the term rainy day fund before, but what is it, why is it so important, and how do you start one in your 20s? A rainy day fund is similar to an emergency savings. It's an account that you save money into and you don't touch until an emergency or a rainy day comes up. But this fund is typically smaller than an emergency fund. And this is important to have for when those small, unexpected life events pop up that we just simply weren't expecting and cannot afford. For example, a flat tire, a trip to the dentist you weren't expecting, or maybe your phone breaks or something. If you are in your 20s and you don't have much saved away or anything at all, it can be super stressful worrying about is something going to pop up that you can't afford to pay for. So that usually leads to going into credit card debt, which of course is not what we want to do because that is just going to hurt our financial situation even more. So having a rainy day fund in your 20s is crucial for a lot of reasons. Number one, for emergencies like we just talked about. A car breaking down or medical expenses that you weren't expecting. And number two, for financial stability. Something that is super important at any time in your life is being financially stable. This takes a lot of stress out of your life if you are prepared for something unexpected to happen. Because as we learned really quickly in our 20s, life has a way of throwing massive curveballs at us. So it's really not a matter of if something wrong pops up, but a matter of when something will pop up. A rainy day fund is crucial to help you stay out of debt with credit card companies that are going to charge you super high interest rates and essentially put you in more debt. Plus, the more you save now, starting in your 20s, the better off you're going to be later. This is going to set you up for your long-term goals like buying a house, buying a new car, maybe getting married, paying off your student loan debt, or even retirement. And even if all you can manage right now is $20 a check, I promise you that is more worth it to put $20 away every single check than $0 away. And then when something pops up that you can't expect, you are essentially screwed. Putting $20 away or whatever you can is going to compound over time, and it's going to set you up for better savings habits because these are habits that we need to build over time. And it is super important that you learn good savings habits early in life. It's going to help you so that you can stay on budget and not overspend and even stay out of credit card debt, which is a crucial life thing that you need to learn in your 20s. That is going to set you up for an easier and brighter future. So that's great and all. Now you know why it's crucial to set up a rainy day fund in your 20s. So the next question becomes, how the heck do you even start? If you've never learned how to save in your life and you're starting from a very small savings account or none at all, it can be really daunting to even think about starting. So let's break it down a little bit. The first thing that you really need to do is create a budget. It's going to be hard to start saving and managing your money if you don't even know where it's going, what you're spending it on, and how much a month you are spending. So you first need to figure out how much you're spending on your non-negotiable bills. This is your rent, your groceries, your utilities, things that you actually need to live. Then you can take how much you are making a month and subtract it from your known bills. And don't forget to give yourself a little bit of spending cash on top of it, because it's unrealistic to assume that you should save every single dollar and not have any fun while you're living in your 20s. All of the fun things that you do in your 20s, going to concerts, whatever, you do not need to cut all of that out in order to start saving. You might need to cut down on those things, but the bottom line is you want to make your goal realistic. And if you want a more in-depth look at creating a budget, I already did a video on this, so check it out up here if you're interested. But once you create your budget and you determine how much you have left over after your bills, your fun, and all of that, you can see how much you have left to save, and then from there, you can determine your savings goal. What is a realistic goal that you can hit by the end of the year? And maybe you want to track your progress a little bit more, so you maybe want to do a 6-month goal or even a 3-month goal. It's all up on how you want to track things, and it of course depends how much you're making versus how much you're spending for what your goal is going to be. Now you may need to start small when you start savings because budgeting and saving is a lifestyle change. You may find out that you are going out way too much and you need to cut that down. But it's unrealistic to assume that your lifestyle is going to change overnight just because you created some budget. If you're going out to eat too much, you may have to learn how to meal plan or save money at the grocery store. You might need to change your habits of how much you are shopping or doing on your hair or your nails. This is something that's going to happen slowly, and you can always grow that savings goal over time. If you feel like you can hit it later down the line, you may be able to up that goal. The best advice I can give is to just start out slow and start out small and adjust as needed. And if you're starting from absolutely zero when you don't even have a savings account to start with, it's a good idea to open one. Ideally, you want to keep your rainy day fund out of the account that all of your bills are coming out of. Chances are you have a checking account with the bank, and that's where all of your bills and money is coming out of. So it's not going to be hard to go to your bank and also open up a savings account with the bank that you're already with. Keeping all of these savings in the checking account that you're using can be dangerous because you really have no idea how much money you actually have to spend, and you could accidentally overspend your savings because you think you have more money than you actually do. But some banks do have a minimum amount for opening a savings account, and they also have different fees and rules. So you really want to shop around to make sure you're getting an account and with a bank that actually fits what works for you. If you are going to your bank to open a savings account, make sure you ask a few questions when you get there. For example, how much do you need to open an account, and how much do you need to keep it open? Are there any fees for dipping below a certain amount? The next step you want to try and take, if you can, is automating your savings. Every single job that I have ever had has allowed you to link more than one account, and you can link your savings account to auto deposit into it every time you get paid. So for example, like $20 or $40 or whatever you can afford. And this is a great thing to do so that you don't have to think about saving, because the easier you make it to save money, the more you are gonna do it. And if it automatically does it for you, you don't have the risk of overspending or forgetting and then not being able to save any money that month. So if you can automate it, definitely do that. But if for some reason your job doesn't have that, then I would set a reminder on your phone for when you get paid. You make sure to remember to manually deposit money into your account, and don't forget to track your progress. This is one of the cool parts of the process because you get to see how much you're actually saving and improving and growing your account. Sure, it's gonna be slow at first, especially if you're starting from zero and you only have $20 or $40 a week to put in your account. It's gonna be slow, but you might look at it in 6 months and realize, wow, I have a lot more savings than I did 6 months previously. It's slowly going to make a difference. And if you want an easy way to keep track of your bills, your expenses, your savings, all of that, check out the link down below in the description. I created a budget tracker that is gonna make it super easy to track all of this, creating a budget, tracking your savings, your expenses, your debt, everything. I will leave a link to it down below because it's really gonna help you out. By far, the most important part of the process is to avoid dipping into your rainy day fund when you can and using it for only its intended purpose. It can be tempting to start dipping into your rainy day fund when you start getting a decent amount of cash in there for non-emergency situations, but that dress that you saw at the mall that you absolutely need to have does not fall into the category of emergency situations. I know it can be tempting, but the more you save and avoid touching your rainy day fund, the bigger it is going to grow and the better off you're going to be when one of those unexpected expenses that you can't afford does eventually pop up. And it's going to be even better for you in the future because you can eventually start growing your rainy day fund into an emergency fund, which is equally as important but different than what we just talked about. And if you want to learn the differences between a rainy day fund and emergency fund, check out this video right here. Make sure to like if you like and subscribe to my channel down below for more videos just like this. And I'll see you next time. Bye.